Another episode of the Capital Gains Tax Solutions podcast, where we believe most high net worth individuals and those who help them, they struggle with clarifying their capital gains tax referral options. Not having a clear plan is the enemy, and using a proven tax referral strategy such as the deferred sales trust is an amazing way for you to exit highly appreciated assets, defer capital gains taxes, so you can create and preserve more wealth or help your clients, friends, and family do the same. My name is Brett Swartz, and each and every episode, I'm joined by some of the best real estate, financial, wealth, and business minds in the world, where they share their ideas and deal stories. So together we can make complex tax deferral strategies simple and passive income plans achievable. I'm excited about our next guest. We're going to be talking about real estate, entrepreneurship, and wellness. He's out of the great state of Jersey, by way of Russia originally, and he's on a mission to help all of us achieve financial independence by investing in multifamily real estate. His unique background is that he launched Zontech Ventures. It's a privately held commercial property investment company, and he has extensive experience in sales and marketing for residential and commercial real estate. And he's been leading marketing efforts as well as acquisition and disposition efforts for distressed off-market properties in particular. And he's going to tell us so much more about the current conditions of the marketplace and other things to grow wealth. Please welcome with me Vlad, and I'll let Vlad have his last name here. Vlad, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Last name is Arakcheyev. I know it's not the easiest to pronounce.
Okay, it's cool. That's awesome. If our listeners get to know you for the first time, would you give us a little bit more about your story and your current focus?
Yeah, my story. Listen, I came here as a baby, basically. I was an immigrant from Russia, came here, and I worked as a graphic designer for the longest time, for like 20 years or so. And then during COVID, everything changed. I got furloughed. I didn't have a job. And then I started thinking we have to do something, right? So my wife and I, we sat together. We have 2 kids. We have mortgage bills like everybody else, and I decided to pivot, with her help, of course, into real estate. So she said, hey, listen, it doesn't matter what's happening out there. People have to buy and sell houses. They have to live somewhere, right? So why don't you be a real estate agent? So I really didn't want to, because I didn't know anything about it. And then she got me on this, she got my pain point: taxes, right? This is exactly goes with your audience, right? So she mentioned one thing to me: if you have an active real estate status, you can write off more taxes, basically. And I didn't believe her. And I said, okay, so let's find out. I called my CPA, and he confirmed. So if you're a real estate agent, you can save more money on you just paid less taxes. So I got my real estate license, started selling houses. At that time, I resigned from my W-2. I was a graphic designer. I resigned, started selling that, and then I started doing flips here locally in New Jersey, going to real estate events. But shortly after, realized I needed more. There was not enough just to do flips here and there. I needed what's everybody looking for, right? Passive income. I needed to sleep and make money. I needed to just make money at all times, because I didn't want to rely on active income for my livelihood. So I went to a multifamily event in Texas, and my eyes were opened on the whole multifamily and how they do business, and how they scale, and use other people's money to invest together in multifamily. So that's where I am now. I'm still an agent here locally in New Jersey, and I do multifamily. I invest in primarily Midwest, Sunbelt market, and now the Carolinas.
Absolutely amazing, Vlad. I appreciate you sharing part of your story here. And by the way, you want to learn more about Vlad, you can go to zontechventures.com. That's zontechventures.com. Yeah, I love the background with real estate. I love the background with tax. I love the background that you have investing, and you're a broker. And so we can figure out how all of this is going to connect together, because we're talking about real estate, entrepreneurship, and wellness. Again, with Vlad, you can go to zontechventures.com. That's spelled ZONTIK ventures.com. So that being said, Vlad, let's dive into right at the topic at hand, which is, being in real estate, being an entrepreneur, and also wellness. And so what would you say is the number one secret to doing just that?
One of the big things that I've learned pretty quickly is networking with people, it's the most important thing in my opinion, and education. So those go hand in hand. In order to be active and successful in this field, you have to know people and you have to have knowledge. So in order to have that, when I basically came back from the multifamily conference, I needed those two things. So mentorship, that's my number one goal. So I got into a mentorship program, and that really accelerated my growth significantly. And within 8 months, I got my first multifamily deal. But during those 8 months, I was just not sitting there. I was learning all kinds of terminology and how to underwrite and how to look at deals and market data. I mean, there was just so much. It's like drinking out of a fire hose, some say. It's just a lot of information coming at you all the time. In addition to that, I was networking with everyone, right? Because, like I mentioned, I invest in Midwest, right? So how can I in New Jersey invest in, let's say, Kansas City? Well, I started connecting with people in Kansas City who invest, and just consistently talk to them, underwrite together, add value, just consistently coming to all the events, Zoom calls, everything. And then they notice me. And it's just the consistency of it, and just them seeing that you're a serious person, right? That you're not just trying. This is my livelihood. This is what I do. There is no turning back. I burnt all the boats, basically. So, and 8 months after, I got my first deal. But yeah, I used to go to 5 networking events per day. Yeah, it's so people would know who you are, what you do, and what can you do for them.
Okay, got it. So I think there's three things. The first secret to real estate entrepreneurship and wellness is at networking, education, and mentorship, right? And making sure that you're connecting with people on a consistent basis. You're not just showing up one time, but you're showing up continually, and you're building those relationships. And people can see that you are committed to doing just that, which is being in the multifamily industry, investing, and looking for others to connect with. That makes a lot of sense. Now, maybe let's connect the wellness piece to this, right? Because I think this is interesting, right? So there's real estate, there's entrepreneurship, but what's the secret to making sure that you have, you be able to live a life that you have health and wellness? How are you connecting on that with that, Vlad?
You know what? It's when you're in this space, in multifamily space, in my case, all the investors, or most of them, talk about similar stuff. And if you're in the same space and they're all talking about, like, for example, fasting or meditation or doing yoga or running or all kinds of exercises or eating right or whatever it is, you start to absorb this information, and you be like, that sounds good. Oh yeah, getting up at 5 in the morning before was a problem, but now look at that. I'm looking forward to the day. So let me start off my day really early, exercise, get the energy, get my mindset right, and then I'm gonna crush the day, right? The same thing when you go to, let's say, Tony Robbins events, or those motivational speakers. They talk about the same thing, crushing the day by setting your mind right. One of the books that I read was, I actually met the guy too, Hal Elrod. He's written this book called The Miracle Morning. So it really, he's talking about doing certain steps to really set your mind right and think about positive, and just be in a positive state of mind. And if you're positive and just overcoming obstacles and not just lingering, right, then you will be successful, because you're you will not be valued on how many times you're knocked down, but how quickly you recover, how quickly you get up. Because we're all business people, right? We get knocked down all the time. Like, I make calls to brokers, I make calls to other sellers, let's say 100 calls a day. 99 of those calls will be denials, but one call can change your life. So you have to recover quickly and just keep moving. So being like in the right state of mind is really important in this business.
Yeah, so it sounds like sort of the foundational mindset and miracle morning practices, habits that are going to put you in the right state of mind, right? And put your also, I think, the right state of energy, right? Because energy, where your energy goes, or when your thoughts and where your energy goes, like the momentum flows, right? Your energy goes, so does momentum and everything else, right? And your thoughts and your energy, and where you're focusing that, it's going to intensify, right? I think those things are going to grow. And if you have the positive state of mind and you're practicing things, and it's not just like, oh, let me just think positive things. It's actually putting your body and your health and your soul and your spirit in a position to be in that positive state of mind, right? And so that could be working out. It could be making sure you're getting to bed on time. That could be making sure you're feeding your mind and your heart the right things. You're staying hydrated. You are meditating. You are journaling, right? I couldn't agree with you more. What has been the one that you really have practiced, Vlad, where you feel like, wow, that one was a harder one for me to implement, but once I did, it made the biggest impact for your wellness?
Yeah, great question. You know what? If you asked me a year ago, try meditation, or 2 years ago, actually, I would laugh at you, and I thought it was just completely silly. What does that mean? You just sit and or lay down, and you try to think about nothing. And I'm like, what does that mean? But believe it or not, your mind is your biggest enemy because your mind is racing all the time, right? So we all have this, right? So our mind, if it stops thinking, it's thinking that it's dying. So it has to keep on moving all the time. So the goal of meditation is basically to stop your mind from racing. That's the basic idea here. So if you being so focused and stop all this negative thoughts and all this craziness that's happening in your head and just refocus and just clear your mind, that's the ultimate goal, right? People are taking drugs or medication just to stop your mind from racing, but there is a natural way of doing it, and it's a long way, which is meditation, right? I mean, everything, if you want to succeed, it is hard. Like if you want to be buff and you want to lift 200 pounds, yeah, it's hard to go to the gym and lift and bench press 200 pounds. Yeah, but you have to do it if you want to be fit, right? So the same thing here. There is no easy way out, and I think that this is one of the best ways to refocus, really refocus. And if you learn how to do it correctly, and I'm just in beginning stages of it, at any time during the day, let's say you have a really bad, call or something challenging happens, you can just take 5 minutes of your time, stop all the craziness that's happening around you, and just focus on you and your body and your mind, and then you will be better because you will recover much faster.
Oh, I love it, Vlad. By the way, you can learn more about Vlad by going to zontechventures.com. That's zontechventures.com. That's ZONTIK ventures.com. Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more on this. And I think it's so easy to forget, right? Because we're so caught up in the day to day. We're so caught up into, oh, we need to do the next thing and to take the next action. And sometimes the next action is actually stopping and pausing, meditating, and gratitude, I think is a huge part of this as well. Journaling, slowing everything down so that your mind stops racing and it can be focusing on the things that it needs to focus on, and not go into that flight or fright syndrome, right?
Yeah.
Where you're racing to get out of the whirlwind, right? That you're in. And so meditation is a way to slow down the whirlwind and to focus on what matters. Is that a good summary, Vlad?
It is, absolutely. And one thing I wanted to add, it's not going to just help you in business, but also help you in your relationship or everyday interaction with people. And it helped me in certain ways where, like, I'll give you an example, and I'm sure a lot of people do this. When they speak with somebody, have a conversation, they are not being present. They're already thinking of the next question. They're already thinking what's going to happen in 5 minutes, or like, oh yeah, I got to get out of this conversation, or what's the end of this? They're not being here. They're not being present. So it's really important to be here and pay attention to what's happening. That's how you really find out, I'm going to say the real person that you're speaking with, right? Because if you're just thinking about, oh, okay, I ask him a question and you're already thinking of the next question, you're missing the answer. You're missing the whole point of the conversation, right? So being present and being here now really helped with everything, like my interaction with kids, my wife. I used to be like, ask a question, then just completely blank out, right? And don't remember the answer. And that doesn't make sense. So I was speaking with one guy. I always give this example. I'm going to name drop here. So there's a pretty good investor. His name is Pace Morby. And I was speaking with him at a conference. And he was so present, right? He was just so focused on you. Like there was nobody around us. It's just me and him, even though there was like 100 people around us, right? So I asked him one question. I didn't care about his investing because I can just take his course, so I can Google what he does. I know what he does. I asked him one question. How do you stay so focused and present? And he said, how much time do you have? So, but basically it's that. It's just being really in the conversation, just being a true person right here.
I love it, Vlad. And it reminds me of when I write down what we call open cycles, right? Things that need to get done. People call it a to-do list, but more so like, what are the big roadblocks that are holding you back from moving to where you want to go? And just getting that on the paper. It's not just getting out of your mind, right? Those things that are taking up that space. Sometimes if I'm not sleeping great, I'll wake up and be like, okay, what are those things that are just those loops that are those they're not closed, right? They're open-ended loops and they keep looping and keep looping. Well, one way to help solve that is to write those things down. Like, okay, yep, here are the things. And then mind, you can tell your mind to go to sleep, right? Go tell your mind to turn off so you can actually, your body can go to sleep, right? But writing those things down and then clearly articulating the outcome. Also, the second part is to, instead of saying what you don't want, say what you do want, right? So often we're like, well, I don't want this. I don't want that. I don't want this. And it's a fear and anxiety. And it puts us in a place of really, instead of anticipation, we're in anxiety, right? And so instead of focusing on what you don't want, focus on what you do want, right? I do want peace of mind. I do want clarity. I do want to work with great team members. Instead of, I want to make sure I don't hire the wrong person. Well, where your energy and your focus goes, or your focus goes, so your energy flows. Rather, I want to hire an amazing person who's going to, change the business, going to help me, whatever it is that you do want. Focus on what you do want, and that little mindset shift can help you to achieve. Any thoughts on that, Vlad?
Yeah, that's exactly how it works. In many cases, your negative thoughts and reactions are the safe ones, right? They're protecting you. So that's why it's easy to sit on a couch and watch TV, right? But it's really difficult to, let's say, go on a stage in front of 500 people and do a speech, right? Not a lot of people do that. So that's why it's really important to just refocus and really challenge yourself. One person said that when I started my journey in real estate, they said, if you're comfortable with being uncomfortable, you will be very successful. So that stuck with me really, and I couldn't understand it at first, but then I got it. Every time something makes me uncomfortable, I just do it. I just have to do it. Like, for example, I don't particularly enjoy standing on a stage in front of 200 people and telling them, let's say, stories about multifamily investing and how awesome it is, right? But as soon as I got that, as soon as I being asked that, I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. Like recently in December, a friend of mine reached out and they said, we're writing a book and I want you to be in it. Write a chapter in the book. And this negative thought, just for a split second, like, oh my gosh, how can I write a book? I'm not a writer. And that thought immediately just vanished. And instead of partying or celebrating on Christmas and New Year's, I was writing a book. So yeah, it's published and it's on Amazon now.
Absolutely love it, Vlad. I love it that you're taking action. I love it that you're growing. I love it that you're inspiring others to do the same. By the way, Vlad, you can learn more about Vlad by going to zontechventures.com. Zontech ventures.com. So Vlad, let's dive into the real estate industry right now. Like what are you seeing right now? The talk of 2024 being a good year to buy. Are you have any live deals, anything you're seeing that you feel like, man, this is a great opportunity? Prices, opportunities are actually coming down a little bit. Like what's your take on just where we're at in this 2024 multifamily market?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, listen, last year we have underwritten over 280 deals and purchased 4. So it was, and 2 of them were not even the deals that we found. Somebody else found and asked us to join together and take them down together. So it was tough last year. Deals were not penciling. You have, of course, incredibly high rates. Then insurance was just absolutely crazy everywhere. And the biggest thing is, of course, risk, uncertainty. People don't know. And if people don't know, they don't want to invest. And of course, the equity wasn't there. So was it a bad year? No, it was not. It was not a bad year. We bought 4 deals. So I consider that a great year because some people bought 0 or actually, unfortunately, going underwater. This year already is shaping up great because I hate to say it, but a lot of loans are coming due, right? And approximately, if I'm not mistaken, and I read over 34 billion this year, it just in multifamily coming due, and only 40% can refi successfully, right? So 60% will have to sell or will go to foreclosure. So is that going to be a great year if you have money and team together and you have everything in place to buy? Oh yeah, those operators will just knock it out of the park. I hate to say it, but people who have purchased 3-4 years ago and got floating debt and bridge loans and now they're underwater, it's quite unfortunate. But this is exactly what's happening. You have the different market cycle, right? In a different market cycle, you still have to buy. If you sit out, then you will miss it. You will miss this wave. But if you keep on circling, if you keep on, let's say, riding this thing, it doesn't matter what market cycle it is. You just adjust. It's like the traffic, right? You go 50 miles an hour, you hit traffic, you change a lane, you keep moving. You don't just pull over and just stop and give up. No, keep going. So that's the idea behind it. We see deals penciling. We are working on few now, which is really, really exciting. So I feel very positive when it comes to multifamily for 2024 and single family. Oh my gosh, I don't want to even. That's just complete craziness what's happening in New Jersey.
Okay, excellent. Wow, that's great feedback and I have some great details there. I want to just highlight a couple of them, right? So $34 billion, either the loan is coming due or that it needs to be refinanced, right? Like something's happening with the debt and multifamily alone, 2024. But number 2, only 40% can actually refi, meaning like the debt itself is not great, right? The debt itself is, or the loan to value and the NOI, they already over leveraged. And so they're underwater, right? So they can't even. So 60% are going to get foreclosed on, or have to work out some kind of something. And so that is a big opportunity. Vlad, are you seeing anything like right now? Like, oh, I just came across 150 units, 200 units. Man, I want to look at it now because this is a live deal. Anything that's live right now that you're trying to raise for?
I mean, it's just absolutely nuts what's happening because the funny thing is we were offering on deals 6 months ago and they were no go. Oh no, you're offering too low. Absolutely not. The deal doesn't work. We have people that are offering higher, stuff like that. Now at this point, those people that were offering more money, they couldn't close, they couldn't perform, right? They just can't, because we all work in the same space. We know how it works, right? We go to the same lenders. If we go to let's say agency debt, right? So if you go and I go and if we bid in the same deal, they look at the same numbers as I do, right? So how can you offer more money unless you're going to put down a lot more, right? But that doesn't make any sense because your cash on cash will be, gone. So it just doesn't make sense. That's why people who bid on this deal 6 months ago, they couldn't close. They didn't close. So that's why we got we were third in line, and guess what? We're gonna close on this thing.
Amazing.
So yeah,
I
we're
love
very excited.
I love it, Vlad. I love it, Vlad. We're talking about Vlad, and you can meet him at zontechventures.com, real estate entrepreneurship and wellness. And that being said, let's dive into a little bit of. I'm curious on your thoughts on this. So we're focused like a laser. In fact, I think I mentioned the best ever conference. I think about 3-4 years ago, the one in Colorado. I think it was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
We focused on helping people exit in deferred capital gains taxes, not using a 1031 exchange, right? It's an alternative. And actually it's great because people who are either in syndications or funds are typically not doing 1031s, and or people are exiting like crypto or businesses, right, which are not 1031 eligible. And so it creates an opportunity to open up your net, if you will, to attract and bring in those that are looking to exit and looking to invest with you guys. So cryptocurrency is coming back. In fact, as of today, we're recording this, like I think Bitcoin's around 51,000 a coin, which is incredible, right, from where it was. And our vision is to defer the tax on these huge Bitcoin, Ethereum exits, and then once they're deferred, to be able to invest into multifamily at a good time, right? All tax deferred. So when you hear that, Vlad, like how cool would that be if a crypto billionaire is listening to this and like, wow, so I can invest with Vlad, who is a proven operator. I can defer and diversify my wealth out of crypto, and I can still defer my tax. Like, wow, how cool would that be?
I mean, I invest in crypto myself. I have self-directed IRAs that basically is just sitting there in crypto and growing, and I can't even touch it until I'm 60 years old. So I do, but I'm not very active in it. Most of my money is in real estate, primarily multifamily, because I just believe in it so much. And it's not only the cash flow, the passive cash flow. That's exactly what I'm looking for, right? I'm making money while I'm sleeping. That's the whole idea, right? Because you have renters and they paying you, and you have appreciation, you have equity pay down, you have all these things that multifamily has to offer. But one of the big things is that the depreciation, right? So we use cost segregation study to depreciate all our assets. And then what happened is, we basically, don't pay taxes on gains because the depreciation offsets all the gains. So speak with your CPA. It's case by case basis, but that's roughly how it works. So that's the great idea about being in real estate. You have so many opportunities, and also one of the best things that you invest in real asset, right? I always tell people, yeah, invest. You can do crypto, you can do stock market, but ultimately, when you invest in real estate, it's something real. You can go, for example, to DFW and touch the building. It's there. It's just sitting there. So it's not like a number on the computer screen. It's a real thing, and it's going to be there tomorrow and the day after and the day after, and it's going to pay. It's going to pay out. So that's where the safety comes in, and there's risk everywhere, of course. But my biggest thing is to reduce that risk as much as possible. That's why I invest in big metro areas that have a lot of growth, that are landlord friendly, that have a lot of businesses coming in. I mean, low taxes, you name it. But that's where I go. Very select markets in the United States.
Absolutely love it. Yeah, we talk about exiting cryptocurrency, deferring the capital gains tax, and then diversifying your wealth, especially into multifamily real assets. And you can do it. And if you want to learn more, you can go to capitalgainstaxsolutions.com. We've already done it with Bitcoin and Ethereum, over $13.5 million of exits, and another couple of NFTs as well that's happening right now. You can do it now. You can diversify. You can dollar cost average. You can also go back and buy more crypto at a lower price at a later date. But a lot of people want to be in multifamily real estate and they're exiting crypto, but they don't know how to get from A to B because of the capital gains tax. But we have a solution. Go to capitalgainstaxsolutions.com to learn more about that. That being said, Vlad, are you ready for the lightning round where we're going to just tie into some quick questions, rapid fire?
Sure. Let's go.
All right, knowing what you know now, if you could go back to your 25-year-old self, what's the one gold nugget make sure to tell yourself to do?
Buy crypto, yeah, buy Bitcoin. No, I'm just kidding, of course. I would say that, yeah, of course, yeah. But one thing is go into real estate. Yeah, no question about it. Absolutely. I would literally just smack my 25-year-old self and just say, stop what you're doing now, go into real estate, because
Absolutely.
it's really life-changing. For me, it was.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds great. Well, what's the number one book you've recommended or gifted most in the past year?
One of the books I gave out, which is by Benjamin Hardy, called 10x is Easier Than 2x. And the thing behind this book is we're all busy, but we are not productive. So this book is teaching us how to be more productive, how to get rid of 80% of quote unquote busy time that's not making us any money. We're just busy for the sake of being busy, and concentrating on 20% that's going to elevate us to the next level. So I like this book a lot.
Beautiful. Question number 3. What would you say you're most curious about right now?
One of the big things for me right now is wellness and staying focused. Because it's very easy to just lose focus. Like if you have something good going on, you'll be like, yeah, it's okay. I can call tomorrow. I can just kind of, lounge. I can lay back. No, absolutely not. It's basically do not stop. Do not stop, because that momentum, as soon as that momentum stops, then it's very difficult to restart again. So do not just like pause. Do not be complacent. Just keep on driving forward. Have a proper routine and don't break that routine. Like, I'll give you an example. From 8 to 9, you cannot reach me. You can't, because I'm dropping my kids off at school and then I'm exercising, right? You cannot reach me. Whatever the problem is, you're going to have to speak with me after 9 a.m.
Perfect. I love it. Absolutely love it. By the way, momentum is more powerful than all of our leadership, strategy, and resources combined. Now, this is a quote by one of the best leaders in the country named Craig Groeschel, and he talks about how to ignite momentum with vision, how to sustain it with systems, and also how to keep it going with grit during really difficult times. But the sum total of all of our leadership, resources, and strategy combined, momentum is greater than all of those, right? And so I think that's so key, and it's in today's day and age, is the focused momentum are the ones that are going to propel and make the biggest impact, because they're not having to start over all over again, right? Or get distracted on the things that are the most important for what they've been called to do. So last question, Vlad, or actually second last question. How are you using this new thing? This new thing is a few months old now, ChatGPT. What's the best way you're using it to grow your business?
You know what? I am using it because we used to write newsletters, and we still do. Newsletters and posts and a lot of social media content. And we had writers, we used to hire them. And in order to get creative ideas, we really use ChatGPT to get ideas. That's one of the things that we do because it's just, we don't copy everything that it does, but we get ideas from it. And also it's really cool. Like I went on a trip to Charleston with kids and the whole family. So I just used ChatGPT to map out fun activities on a drive there and a drive back. So I use it for business and pleasure.
Perfect. Awesome. Last question, Vlad. After all your success, helping all the people you helped to create and preserve more wealth, what would you say is the number one way that that you stay centered in your values, but also stay encouraged to charge forward and reach even higher heights?
You know what? You always have to have goals, and it doesn't have to be monetary goals or like number of units. Even though I do have that, my ultimate goal is to leave a mark on society, to really put a dent. Like Steve Jobs said, leave a dent in the universe. So my ultimate goal is to open up an animal sanctuary here in New Jersey and a rescue farm. So that's where I'm driving forward. That's like the ultimate satisfaction. It's not how much money you make or fancy cars or anything. I don't care for that. The most important thing is to really make a change in people's lives. And that's my ultimate goal and dream.
Absolutely amazing, Vlad. I want to thank you for being on the show. I want to thank you for sharing your expertise with us on multifamily, your expertise now on wellness, right? And connecting the real estate, entrepreneurship, and wellness together. I want to thank you for already leaving a mark on us, right? A mark on us that I can tell our listeners are going to appreciate everything you talked about. And I want to encourage you to keep using your gifts and talents to bless and help people create and preserve more and leave a mark. For our listeners who want to get in touch with you, would you mind one last time, what's the best place for them to find you?
Yeah, you can go on any social media. You can go on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. I'm even TikToking, and I started my YouTube channel because I have two passions: real estate and motorcycles. So I created a YouTube channel where I combine both, motorcycles and real estate. Like if I go somewhere and I see a house, I'm like, oh yeah, by the way, I've ridden my motorcycle. So I kind of do a live and light, um, uh, you know. Uh, uh, trips, and I just discuss what I see and stuff like that. So it's really cool and interesting. I think people will like it. So I put my passion out there. So reach out to me on social media, go to my website, zonticventures.com, and connect. I'm very happy to.
Awesome. Thanks, Vlad. I want to thank our listeners for listening to an episode of the Capital Gains Tax News podcast. We're also streaming on Expert CRE Secrets podcast and YouTube channels. Remember, we believe most high net worth individuals and those who help them, they struggle with clarifying their capital gains tax deferral options. Not having a clear plan is the enemy, and using a proven tax deferral strategy, such as the deferred sales trust, is an amazing way for you to exit highly appreciated assets. If you're looking for a solution beyond the 1031 exchange, which you should be, because 1031 exchanges can be very restrictive. They don't work for cryptocurrency or business exits, and it puts you in that tight time crunch. You can go to capitalgainstaxsolutions.com to get started. And here's the book, Building a Capital Gains Tax Exit Plan, is another option for you to go on Amazon and pick up the book, Building a Capital Gains Tax Exit Plan. We have Kevin Harrington from Shark Tank in the book, and a number of other really smart multifamily experts in the book that can help clarify what your options are for exiting any asset of any kind, deferring capital gains taxes, and also eliminating that estate tax, which is also a big one. Check out Building a Capital Gains Tax Exit Plan on YouTube, or on Amazon, but in our YouTube channel, Capital Gains Tax Solutions. And the very last thing is our brand new product. It's called the Best 1031 Exit Plan. And this is an option for you to have a regular 1031 exchange, a deferred sales trust as a backup plan, and also a Delaware statutory trust. Friends don't let friends go into 1031 exchanges without a backup plan. Don't get caught having to buy something that doesn't work for you. At least have that option to parachute out and have a deferred sales trust as a backup plan. Go to experttaxsecrets.com and check out the Best 1031 Exit Plan. Thanks for watching this. Please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, share it with someone it could be helpful to do.